Hi there, including everyone. It's been 5 months since 2025 is over. Now it's time for another great story, which is gonna be a whole different year. Let's see. January. January didn't start off well. I got sick, work after Christmas, 10 people quit, one of them I had to help with, and one of them who yelled at me last year. Although I continued with Advent and made up for what I couldn't do. February. In February, the world's best RGB microphone has arrived. Retro hunting, my favorite burger came out in McDonald's. Towards at the end of this month, I visited Latvia, and I have to admit, it's not in bad shape. And yes, Austria was also included, because I had to transit there. March. March was one of the worst months at work for me. One of my bosses yelled at me, and a bunch of people, and one person made fun of me inappropriately, which almost led to an argument and a fight, which thankfully didn't happen. And also retro experiences, an advent park, and at the end of the month, I visited Moldova, which didn't go as planned, and they almost punished me for filming at the airport. And even visiting Romania, because I had to transit there. Plus, I had to spend 16 hours there. April. In April, there was a big party that was stronger. Stronger Easter and sweets. We lost Pope Francis. At the end of the month, I visited Sweden with my father, and it was a wonderful adventure. And the hotel was also a great one. May. In May, I focused on nostalgia and retro vehicles, especially the new ones. And I also visited Miskolc, because the first retro weekend was held on there, which unfortunately was a 50% failure, as 2 retro locomotives broke down. June. In June, I saw a lot of retro trains and locomotives, most of them in a museum in Szentendre. And I also got to travel with a real locomotive. The night of the museum was much different this year. I was at Balaton, and at the end of the month, I had a vacation in Greece after 9 years for 3 days. And in 40 degrees, if I'm not wrong. After I got home, I visited my camp, which was pretty nice. July. July really surprised me. A much different retro weekend, and there was no steam locomotive this year. But July 7th was really golden for me. I went on 5 retro trains and a special retro trolley. And not alone. And of course my camp too. But Monday was my worst day. I went to Szeged to swim, but a huge storm came, which caused huge damages in the country and wiped out 60% of the railway. Due to the storm damage, I got home 4 hours later, but I managed to get home before midnight. And it was also my worst decision. In the rest of the month, I visited Balatonvilágos, Balatonakali, and took a lot of buses. And I think one bus was a disaster, because almost a fight has been brought out, or at least brought out, but one of them escaped. August. August wasn't a strong month. Usual retro, there was a lot of work and messing around at work, same shotting. But the Iceland festival wasn't my favorite this year. So I spent it with 2 friends and 1 old friend, plus 38 degrees. In the rest of the month, I visited Balatonszárszó, Badacsony, Siófok and Balatonfüred. September. In September, I watched the Orient and the Majestic Express trains. Rapid date. In the middle of the month, I visited North Macedonia after 9 years, along with Germany and Austria. After a few days, I went to one of my relatives for a birthday, somewhat far away. And finally the retro weekend, which was thankfully very close to me. Plus 60-year-old Sergei with locomotives and guests, which was a very nice party for the Sergei locomotives. October. October was quite interesting. A much different Icarus bus meeting, the same Halloween birthdays, pumpkin festival, the very first retro Sergei, and at my workplace. The boss was taken to the hospital, unfortunately shortly nuts, because of kidney stones, which is a severe pain. November. In November, not much happened. Usual dining cars. I tried a retro first class car and hunting some retro trains. The trees still held up, and in mid-November I went to a concert where Perturbator performed and brought 2 guest bands, which was a real dark atmosphere. Although I was in the front the whole time. December. This December, it beat the rest. Usual festive vehicles, street decorations, sweets. There was plenty of novelty, new festive fervor, buses, regional buses, light rail, new sweets. In addition to this, I was in Austria and England. So I was not bored at all, and even at work. Although unfortunately I didn't have time to close this month, including this year, nor to prepare for New Year's Eve, but I certainly had my second best New Year's Eve, and it snowed at that day, which is funny, but it was a gold for me, which I will never forget. In conclusion of 2025, there were weak moments, but there were also strong moments. Maybe this was a weaker year, although there was plenty to celebrate. I couldn't play much, but I managed to reach 200, 300 and 400 subscribers. I was in 9 countries, and there were a lot of retro vehicles that I will never forget. I have a job, but it is questionable how long it will last. Let's hope 2026 will be a strong year, and also that it will beat 2024, which there is a 30% chance of. And that's all of 2025.